Today is Monday, November 18th, 2019. My name is Austin Sherman, and this is for my Kansas history class. Today I'm sitting down with Patrick Murphy, who just so happens to be my dad as well, to discuss his upbringing in Kansas. So, Dad, let's start off with this. Where were you born?
Wichita, Kansas.
And where were you raised?
Winfield, Wellington, and Oxford area.
So you've been a South Central Kansas resident for most of your life, right?
That'd be true.
What was your experience growing up in Kansas?
We were pretty poor. We sustained ourselves, and there was times we didn't eat if we didn't shoot something or fish something up.
So you guys spent a great deal of your time hunting, trapping, things like that?
Yes.
So who taught you to do those things, and when did you start learning how to do that?
Mainly my grandpa, and my grandma says it was about the time I started walking. I really don't have a memory of when, but I remember about 5 I had a pellet gun, and I walked with everybody else to go hunting with a cork gun.
What was hunting like back when you were younger? What year were you born, you said?
77.
So you were born in 77. So on and through the 80s and 90s, when you could start remembering, what was hunting like? What was the hunting culture in Kansas like?
About everybody hunted. You didn't know anybody that didn't hunt, and getting permission to hunt places was relatively easy. Farmers were more than willing to let you hunt on their land. Sometimes you helped them out during the summer or sometime to whatever, but for the most part it was just you asked permission and you got on there pretty much.
So it would be safe to say, how old are you now?
42.
Would it be safe to say that hunting and trapping, general outdoor activity here in Kansas, has remained an important part of your life?
Yes, it has.
Now, in what ways have you stayed involved with that? Have you done any activities or volunteer your time in any way to help keep that tradition alive?
I'm a fur harvester, bow ed, hunter's ed instructor for 15 plus years, and I'm also sitting on a DU committee in Winfield.
Now, DU being Ducks Unlimited?
Yes.
In the time that you've been an instructor, how many people do you think have come through to get their hunter's license?
Well, their hunter's ed certificate. I don't do licenses. The certificate we've done, I know in the first 10 years we had over 7,000. And after that, we've kind of lost track of how many.
Over the years, what have you seen happen to the hunting tradition in Kansas as far as participants, and even in the last 15 years as an instructor, what have you seen as far as, is this tradition still alive? Is it still strong? What have you seen?
The biggest change, I'd say, is there's more females hunting and participating. The biggest change on the other one is it's not a family thing anymore. It's more of I saw it on TV and it looks cool. I don't think it's as strong as it used to be, and I think it's partially the state's rules and regulations that have made it that way.
So would you say that hunting, at least in recent years, has become more of a corporatized sort of thing? It's become a monetized deal for the state and for most people at large?
Yes.
What's changed over time that's created the current state of hunting at the state level, in your opinion?
You got a lot of people that come in from out of state, and that's what the state uses as a cash cow. And you can get a deer tag or anything else every year because Kansas is a big buck state. You go out of Kansas and everybody thinks that you can walk into Kansas and shoot a 140 inch deer behind any tree. You get here and it's not that way. There's very little public land for people to just public access. Everything's private. Most of your private land is being leased by people, so you don't have as many hunting opportunities as you did 10 years ago, especially really not 15 years ago.
What steps can your fellow Kansans take to help maintain the hunting tradition in Kansas?
I guess the biggest one would be become active in a group like DU, Ducks Unlimited, Pheasant Forever, Quail Unlimited. There's tons of them out there. Volunteer a little bit to help at some of these public places and try to get it, talk to farmers about leaving their hedgerows and stuff like this that are necessity for small game to live in.
It's a little discouraging and encouraging at the same time, the state of hunting in Kansas, but I think if we have more folks out there like you, getting young people involved and looking out for the state of hunting in Kansas, then I think we still have a chance. But at the end of the day, what does it mean to you to be a Kansan?
Well, for Kansas, it's getting out and being in the community, helping each other out when we need to, and looking out for what's right instead of what's profitable.
How can folks get involved? Who should they reach out to? You listed a few already, but who should they contact?
There's a lot of programs with the Fish and Game. They can get on there. There's places there to start for a mentor. That's the best place to start out with.
Dad, I'd like to thank you for coming in today and sharing your stories of conservation and your care for the hunting tradition of Kansas. I hope for the people out there listening, you take this as a challenge to get out there and preserve the hunting history of Kansas, and that even in the past 40 years, things have changed a lot. For the future of hunting to continue in Kansas, it's going to take all of us together to maintain that tradition.
Home on the range, where the deer and the